Welcome back to The Beast Within. I'm your host, Aaron Saltzman. Thank you again for joining us today on another topic that is going to be one that everybody can relate to and everybody suffers from. You see, this beast, it doesn't scream at you in public. It's not noticeable by others. It whispers in private, literally in your mind. You see, it's possibly the most dangerous one because nobody can see it. This beast that we're going to talk about and cover today is the negative self-talk beast. You see, it disguises itself as either motivation or a safety net to protect you by speaking to you in terms of keeping you grounded and keeping you safe. But what it really does is it chips away at your confidence one word at a time, and it puts you in a position to not act at all. Because if nobody else can hear it and you're the only one, it hides in a way you speak to yourself when you look in the mirror, when you mess something up, when you fall short in life, the things that we tell ourselves. You're never going to get this right. You're never going to be good enough. You always screw up. You're ugly. Why would anyone care? Nobody wants to listen to me. The words go on that we speak to ourselves. And if we listen to this, it will be the epitome of your success. The self-talk beast, over time, you see, it gets louder. The more that you listen to it, the more that you believe it. And the more that you allow it to take over, the less chances you're actually going to take. So the quote for today that I want to dive into is, negative self-talk is like drinking poison and expecting to be able to function at your best all day. So if you fill your mind with negativity or this so-called poison, you're going to be at best a smidge percentage of what you are capable of. It will put you in a state of paralysis. It'll put you in a state of no progress because you're so afraid to try because you've already told yourself that you're not capable. So negative self-talk turns into a battle within your mind between, should I even try? Am I good enough? Or is this just the way that life is supposed to be? Am I just supposed to stay mediocre? Am I just supposed to stay in my bubble? Am I never supposed to try? That voice, it creates hesitation. And what happens whenever we hesitate? Well, we kill our momentum. You cannot go all in and give everything you have if you're hesitating. And this negative voice will consistently make you hesitate. We have to find ways of channeling it. We have to find ways of overriding it. I want to give you a statistic that was proven by neuroscience and research that it takes five positive affirmations in order to kill one negative thought. That means as soon as you say, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, you have to now override that with 5 affirmations or 5 internal proofs that you are capable, that you are good enough. I truthfully take that word out of my vocabulary, and when I'm in the gym with my clients, it is not said in the gym. There is no I can't. Instead of I can't, how about something like I'm capable, but I'm just not there yet? How about instead of I can't, I'm learning. I'm figuring it out. I will eventually get to that level. I'm just not there yet. Now with that, there's momentum. Now with that, the ball is in your court. If, okay, I'm not there yet, but I'm good enough to get there, well now I can spend my time getting better and learning. If I just stop at I can't, well now I've shut everything down. All possibilities gone out the window. So the moment you start doubting yourself, you either delay or completely avoid taking action. And the cost, just like I mentioned, lost opportunities, chances, and true destruction on you reaching your fullest potential. Your dreams will be put on hold. You won't take the risks. And I can promise you, standing here today in front of you, eventually this podcast is going to take me into my ultimate dream. I've put it out there. I've manifested. I already know. I'm already in that position. But it took I had to take the risk. I have to be sitting here in front of you. And by taking that risk, I had to have positive mindset that I am capable, that you do want to listen to me, that you do want to hear what I have to say, and that I can be a helping hand in other people's success. I had to talk myself into that through positive affirmation. If I would have started this podcast as in, Nobody wants to listen to me. My words don't matter. I'm not smart enough. I didn't get an education in psychology. I could easily talk myself out of sitting here and standing in front of you guys today. And that goes for everything that you guys do. You have to give yourself a fighting chance by giving yourself positive affirmation. When you speak to yourself like you're less than, you start to accept less. I'm not good enough for love. I'm not good looking enough. Why would they love me? There's other people better than me. I'm not successful enough. I don't have enough money. I can't start a business. You can't start a business with no money. So you've already put yourself in this place where you're not even gonna try, which creates less joy in your life, which eventually creates you to sit in your depression. To sit, and exactly why I started this podcast, you're gonna sit in a place of settling, and this negative voice will take over, and everything that you do, this negative voice is going to speak louder than you, and eventually you wake up in a life that you never asked for, a life that you never wanted, and unfortunately, because of this negative self-talking beast, it has now taken over your life and left you to pick up the pieces. And it's mind over matter. It is literally sitting down with yourself and starting to speak these things into existence. Even if it sounds stupid at first, even if it doesn't sound like something that is needed or something that you want to do at the time, literally spending a little extra time giving yourself these positive notions can change your life for the better and create the life that you're honestly looking for. So you see, negative self-talk writes the script for failure. Just like a movie writer writes the script before the movie is played, it's the exact same scenario. The negative self-talk that we build up in our head ultimately becomes our movie. It ultimately becomes our reality. And if your reality is built through a script of, I always screw things up, then subconsciously, you're gonna look to prove that voice correct. And it goes both ways. Manifestation can be a positive or it can be a negative. You can manifest yourself into the place that you've always dreamed of being. You can manifest good. You can manifest yourself into living out your fullest potential. Or you can manifest yourself right into a life that you never wanted. You can manifest yourself into being that person that you never even thought you were unfortunately going to become. The what if I prove myself wrong voice starts to sneak in. What if I'm not good enough? What if I can't create that business? What if I can't get that girl? And by putting in that voice in your head, this negative self-talk, you're now going to start to act on those situations because you don't want to deal with the discomfort of what if it was true. What if you go up to a girl and you get denied? You don't want to go through the feeling of denial or the feeling that what you're feeling inside, that person might be feeling about you too. But this is the problem with negative self-talk. It is a projection. When it comes to negative self-talk, what we believe in our head, whether it be true or not, we start to believe that others feel that same way about us. So now this is how your negative thoughts actually get brought into your real world. It's not that these people do think this about you, but now in your eyes, in your character that you're playing or your avatar that you're playing, you believe these thoughts about you, so you project into their eyes that they must think this too. And by doing this, now you start to hide away from situations. You don't want that feeling of this person feels this way about me. Oh, I'm fat, I'm out of shape. Everybody must think I'm fat and out of shape. Now, in a real life situation, you're not gonna wanna take your shirt off when you go to the beach. You're not gonna want to show up in the gym because you feel others are judging you the way that you're judging yourself, which 90% of the time, second off, 90% of the time, they're not thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves. And so I want you guys to really focus on getting that self-talk out of your head that others feel this way about you too. Because this makes us, it shuts us out and it starts to make you isolate yourself from others. Negative self-talk turns inward of a toxic trait. It forces you to believe that no one wants to hear your problems, that you're a burden, that if people really know what's going on in your head, they'd walk away. But in reality, we all have these negative self-talks. It's about finding ways of coping with them and finding ways to put them on the back burner and not believe what they have to say. So unfortunately, whenever you believe in this negative self-talk, you start to become vulnerable. You stop asking for support. You stop putting yourself out there, and you start to, again, believe others feel these things are true about you as well. So now you start to put on a mask and you start to deal with these problems alone. But the problem is the beast, this negative self-talk beast, it thrives when you are alone, in isolation, in silence, and in shame. Because when you don't let anyone else in, the beast doesn't have to face the truth. And the truth is that it's lying, that you're not alone, that your thoughts are not facts, and that healing can be an option, and that you can come out the other side with a much more positive attitude towards yourself. So in this podcast, we're going to break down some tools that are going to be necessary to help you. But understand, very important, you're not alone in thinking negatively. Terry Crews, one of the most positive people. He's up on stage, he's dancing, he's always got a positive, bright smile. He came out with a podcast where he came on and said that he would negatively self-talk every single day. And he would push himself to a burden of, you're stupid. Why can't you get this right? You need to work harder. People are going to think badly of you. And it wasn't until, and this is one of the tools that I've utilized and I highly recommend you utilize, is that he started to look inward at himself as when he was a 6-year-old boy. He says, I keep a picture with me at all times of myself at 6 years old. And every time I start to feel negative about myself, every time I start to talk to myself like that, I look at this picture and I ask myself, would I speak to my 6-year-old self this way? Would I kill my 6-year-old self's dreams and ambitions and tell him that you're not good enough? Would I tell this 6-year-old boy that you can't accomplish your goals and your dreams? Absolutely not. So why would I tell it to myself today? I still am that 6-year-old boy. And when I saw this, it hit so at home for me, because we are so hard on ourselves and we are so negative. It's in our DNA to be negative. Our negativity is due to wanting to survive and wanting to be liked, because it kept you, back in the day, it kept you safe, right? By keeping a negative mindset, it kept your head on a swivel. It kept you from the saber-toothed tiger that was a potential risk. The negative self-talk is what kept you alive, but unfortunately it is stuck with us today in a world where it's not needed. And so I ask of you to do what Terry Crews does and start to speak to yourself in a manner that feels rewarding. It feels motivational, because why not? Why not put yourself in a state like that? Why put yourself in a state of mind where we're just beating ourselves up all the time? Because if you want to succeed, and if you want to go far, and if you want to live out your fullest potential, which if you're watching this video right now and you're keeping up with the beast within, then I already know that's the type of person you are. You want to better yourself. You want to overcome these beasts. And so this tool right here is number one when it comes to this beast. When it comes to the negative self-talk, speak to yourself either the way that you would speak to yourself as a child or the way that you would speak to somebody else. Because you're not telling other people this. You're not telling other people they're fat to their face. You're not telling other people they can't accomplish something. You're not telling them they're not good enough for something. So why tell yourself that? And so I want this to be the number one tool that we use. We're going to call it the mirror test. That would you say it to somebody you love? And if not, just don't say it to yourself. Keep it out of your vocabulary. And every time you catch yourself with a negative thought, you need to throw out 3 to 5 negative or positive thoughts. You got to throw out, again, if the negative self-talk is telling you can't do something, okay, maybe I'm just not at that position yet. I need to educate myself more. I need to put in my reps, just like in anything. In the gym, this is my specialty. In the beginning, you're right. You can't bench 225 pounds. That's correct. But if you train hard enough, and long enough and put in your repetitions, eventually you will put up that 225. And that is where it is designed. Just like the gym, you need to work off of a program. Well, you need to program your mind in order to show up every single day the way that you need to show up in order to see that success. The next tool I have for you guys is name the inner bully. When it comes to negative self-talk, it's usually not you. It is not the person that you're thriving to become. The success in you, the person that really wants success, is not what's trying to hold you back. It's the person that you were that's trying to hold you back. It's the person that is fearful that's trying to hold you back. And so give this other voice, this so-called negative self-talk beast, Give it a name, whatever that may be. For me, it's the beast within, right? It is literally the negative self-talk beast. This is the beast that is that voice, that negative image that is holding you back. And so give it this voice. By giving it a different identity, you can utilize the tool, understanding it's not your true self. That voice that you're hearing, it's just fear. It's just, or anxiety, if you want to call it anxiety, it's the same thing. It is fear that you will not succeed, or fear that if you do succeed, now you're ultimately not the same person anymore. And that's a very scary thing, is leaving the person you are behind. But in order to get to your fullest potential, why would you want that person to stay stuck? If that person stays stuck, you're going to think the same, you're going to act the same, you're going to do the same. So we need to shed our skin. And by giving it that bully, that inner negative talk, a separate name, it gives you an identity to work off of, to understand that your true self is not that negative voice. The next one that I have, when a negative thought comes up, don't just block it. Don't just let it be. Like I mentioned, find the truth within it. I always fail. I suck. How about I'm learning through experience? That's the great thing, is I always fail. Good. Failure is a good thing. Failure is your only way to success. Failure is the stepping stones. It's the ladder, if you will, to the next level. You can't get to the next level without a little bit of a climb. And so this is the rewire that you have to look at things at. Instead of, fuck, I failed. Failure is a horrible thing. I'm terrible. I'm not good enough. How about, good, I failed. What can I learn from this? How can I move forward with this? How do I go up one more level? The I'm not good enough to I'm growing into my potential. Because that's what growth is, people. Growth is one step at a time. It is one minuscule step in the right direction. And eventually, each one of those steps lead up to giant leaps. And you find yourself already just being the person that you were destined to be, the person that you wanted to be. But again, use those failures as stepping stones. Just like Terry Crews, he utilizes his failures as stepping stones, but he also has put himself in a position now to channel this negative self-talk. And so speak to your younger self. Find what that version of you was and find out what their goals were, their ambitions. What did you want when you were a kid? Keep that in mind at all times, and then utilize that thought process right there to not penalize yourself for whenever you do have these little failures. Because now you're talking to an identity of yourself that is pure. You're talking to yourself at a young age when it's just pure and straight ambition. There hasn't been any reckless things that have happened in life to tear this person down just yet. So you would never crush your child's spirit. So don't crush your own today, because you still are that child. This builds a deeper level of self-compassion and awareness for yourself. And so that leads me into my last tool for today. Tool number 5 is daily affirmations, but with emotion, right? There has to be emotion behind your affirmation to actually believe it. You can't just say, oh, I'm good enough, I'm worthy, I'm strong enough. You have to actually believe it, take that emotion and turn it into an action behind intention. With intention to action, you are now putting yourself in a position to actually overcome this beast. You have to first act. How do we do that? How do we turn this negative self-talk into a positive through action? Okay, so gratitude, speaking it into existence, journaling, put it into a book. Start putting your positivity down on paper, leaving the negativity out. Don't write out the negativity. Don't allow the negativity a second of being within this world. And eventually, when you start putting everything out into reality, you will start to actually believe it. So things I want you to work on: journaling, meditation, affirmations that are said out loud. Put it out there. What I like to do is in the morning. I highly recommend being in the morning, because if you don't do it in the morning, it probably won't get done. Look, we're all really busy. We got busy schedules. Not only that, we get exhausted. So do it when you have time to specifically work on yourself before the day takes over. And normally that is going to be in the morning. So use your daily affirmations and your gratitude in the morning. And again, this can be journaling, or put on meditation and just start talking positivity into your day. What is my day going to look like? What positive things are going to come my way? What positive things can I put into my body? What positive things can I do for my body? What positive things can I do for my mind? And by doing this, you're setting your intention for the day. And I promise you, when you put out a positive intention in the beginning of the day, nothing can stop you. Because no negativity is going to get in the way of you achieving those things that you put intention towards. So with those 5 tools that I just mentioned, we are going to put this negative self-talk to bed. It is time to get rid of this and not allow it to overcome your life. Because I promise you, it has. It has to all of us. But how far can we go without sitting on that negativity? Because the negative thought might just be a second. The negative thought might just be quick. But if you haven't built the tools necessary to overcome that negative thought, well, now you're going to sit on that negative thought. And like I mentioned before, your actions are going to follow that negative thought. Understand, people, that if you tell yourself that you're out of shape, you're fat, then guess what? You're going to go about your entire day being that out of shape fat person. And you're not going to take action to change it. If you tell yourself that you're stupid and that you're not going to be good enough to overcome, anything that you want to accomplish. Let's say you want to write a book, that's your dream. Well, guess what? If you think you're stupid, you're never going to put pen to paper. You're never going to actually take action because you've already convinced yourself otherwise. You've already talked yourself into a negative state of mind. And so what I'm asking for you people is to face this inner beast head on. Do not let the negative self-talk overcome the person that you are meant to be. Because on the other side, on the positive side, on releasing the positive beast within you, releasing the positivity, I promise you that you're going to make it so much further, and your day-to-day is going to feel, yes, it's a grind, but it's going to feel authentic. And it's going to feel like you're headed down the right path. And when you feel and get that feeling of headed down the right path, you're unstoppable. And so that right there is why defeating this negative self-beast is going to get you to your fullest potential. That right there is why you need to keep listening to the beast within, because we're going to conquer these beasts one beast at a time, and we're going to slay them, making sure that they don't stand in your way of becoming the ultimate best version of yourself. So thanks again for following. Thank you for listening. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share it with somebody you love, and we will see you on the other side. Keep battling and keep on living to your fullest potential. Peace.